We start off with Lane Kiffin leaving Ole Miss for LSU. I don't think anybody's surprised at this, and he has his reasons why, but he did want to stay on. And there's varying reports here, and I want to make sure that we're being fair to both sides here. But, they're getting ready to prepare for the college football playoffs, probably going to have a home game, and he wanted to stay on. But he also wants to take some of the coaching staff and reportedly wants to poach some of the players. Now, the players, I understand if they came to Ole Miss for Lane Kiffin and may want to play for him at LSU. As far as these coaches go, they may want to go. Maybe a few of them were on the private plane yesterday. Ole Miss owes Lane Kiffin gratitude for the wins, but once he walks out the door, they don't owe him any more than just that. He did a great job there. I don't think anybody is denying that, but he made this a public mess. And that's the problem I had with this. You were kind of toying with the situation. You were toying with Ole Miss. You were toying with these kids. You were toying with your fan base. You could have waited. You could have waited till, you beat Mississippi State and say, I'd love to coach this team. But he's already said this team, these teams at Ole Miss can't win a national title because money wasn't the issue. He said he spoke to God. Now, I don't know if God is Nick Saban. Maybe he did speak to God. But I was thinking maybe he spoke to Nick Saban, and Saban said, yes, it's time to take the next step, my son. Lane is going to chase the rest of his life. And once again, I go back to that documentary, The Many Lives of Lane Kiffin. And everything that I thought I would like to rethink because it seemed like he had found happiness. But I don't know if he knows what happiness is. He keeps moving. Keeps moving. I don't begrudge anybody who wants to take another job, to make more money, whatever it is. But I want you to be honest. I want you to be fair to Ole Miss. They did give you an opportunity here. And now you want to take coaches with you? Hey, but I want to stay and coach. Can I do that? And then maybe privately I'll talk to some of these players who might want to join me at LSU. No, leave. You don't want to stay. You can't win a national championship. You've said that. You can at LSU. And look, my college football source said last night, Lane will win at LSU. I don't think anybody has ever denied his coaching ability. And the talent in a three-hour radius of Baton Rouge is probably unquestionably the most talented area, most fertile college football area in America. He'll win. And then where does he go from there? Does he wait till the Alabama job is open? I mean, we've seen this before, so you can't sit there and go, he'll retire at LSU. He will not retire at LSU. It wasn't money. So what was it? To win a national championship. Okay. We saw how that worked before this with Brian Kelly. Now, he'll work harder than Brian Kelly did, but, I felt bad for Ole Miss because you're just waiting. And I think we all agreed when we left on Wednesday, he was going to take LSU. So none of this is a surprise. I think how it played out was the disappointing part of this. But you go, that's your team now. You're not going to coach this team. Not anymore. We'll get to your phone calls coming up. Yes, Paulie.
I think one thing that stood out to me the past month is Lane Kiffin was pursued like he hadn't been pursued since like 15 years ago when he was the hot property, Tennessee, USC. And he wanted his cake and eat it too. He wanted the LSU job, more money for him, more money for his program to build. But he also wanted to coach Ole Miss through the playoffs. And it's so unreasonable to do that. But I think he was so emboldened the past month that I want my cake and eat it too. I want to coach and leave and poach and take and do it all because I'm at the peak again.
And I was surprised when he had comments that, hey, I wanted to coach him. Like, you're not a victim here, Lane. You created all of this. You didn't want to coach these kids. Now, you could have. You could be coaching, and you're in the college football playoffs. You're probably going to host a game. You're going to go to LSU. You're going to be another coach at LSU. You could have been the coach at Ole Miss. And maybe that doesn't matter to you. Like, I don't know how important your legacy is because I think your legacy is damaged, certainly because of this. We move on from all of this. I know that. We do this no matter what the story is. We'll move on, and then we'll reflect back in 4 years and go, oh, yeah, Lane's leaving. Where's he going? Oh, yeah, that's right. He left. I mean, I've been around long enough to know we do move on from all of this. But I do think he'll be successful. I don't think anybody questions that. But in the manner in which he departed, I was sad and embarrassed for Lane Kiffin. Here is Lane Kiffin. He had an interview with Marty Smith just off the tarmac. He should know to stay away from that damn tarmac. Here is Lane on why he chose LSU over Ole Miss.
My heart was here, but I just, I talked to some mentors, Coach Carroll, Coach Saban, and especially when Coach Carroll said, man, your dad would tell you to go, man, take the shot. Take the shot. You've accomplished a lot here. I always hated how we only gave 1 year to Tennessee and left. I really hated that feeling of that, even though it was an exciting year. But, I think that we gave a lot to this program and to the city, and, some of the most historic wins in this stadium we've ever had, and best regular season in the history of the school. So I feel proud of that part. But it became time, I talked to God and he told me it's time to take a new step. It's a new chapter.
Okay. All right. I just wish he would have been honest and just said, look, I'm going to LSU. I feel like it's a better opportunity for what my goals are and my family. That's all. Thank you for your support. I wish you the best of luck. I wish I was coaching because I love these kids and we've had a great season. But look, that's not fair to you and not fair to LSU. And then leave. But don't be toying around, cryptic stuff, And this is a bigger problem for college football. Could you imagine, let's say Mike McDaniel got fired with the Dolphins and Mike Tomlin took the job right now, in season. That's what we have here. A coach going to the playoffs, quitting to go to another school. But college football's created all of this mess. Remember, the kids were screwing it up. No, it's the grown-ups who screw it up. The kids are just kind of waiting for the other shoe to drop here. These are all the chancellors and presidents and athletic directors. They're the ones that screw it up, the coaches. Yeah, Paulie.
Remember a decade ago when we were angry that Christian McCaffrey skipped the Sun Bowl? Yep. We're like, he's not playing in an exhibition Sun Bowl. He's not finishing his season. We got a coach who's going to the playoffs with a team that doesn't go to the playoffs, Ole Miss that often, and he leaves. It's surreal. And like you said,
Leonard Fournette, yeah, he sat out a game. Oh, my God, what are you doing to the pageantry of a bowl game? No, nobody wants to play in the Sun Bowl.
Well, hey.
Oh, man, teams are going to hold this against Christian McCaffrey. Oh, really? Yeah, he quit on his team. Okay. All right. This is a coach who quit on his team. Like, literally, he quit on his team and going to LSU. There's a lot of opinions out there, but Lane is not a victim. He's not a victim. He'll play a victim. Man, I wanted to coach them. You wanted to coach them, but did you want to bring some of your assistant coaches with you to LSU? Did you want to bring some of your players with you to LSU? Now, I would say, hey, Lane, you can coach, but you can't take any of our players and any of our coaches. Okay, you sign a contract. Let's say $1 million for each player and each coach that leaves, that you'll pay us back. How about that? How about we get lawyers who draw up real good contracts to protect schools? What was the buyout for Lane Kiffin at Ole Miss? $4 million?
Yeah.
And if he got fired, what was he going to get paid? $36 million, something crazy like that? That seems out of balance here. $4 million is nothing. Yes, Marvin.
Yeah, there's going to be some type of Kiffin rule implemented. I don't know whether it's going to be you can't take this amount of players or you can't try to pick off our coaches in the middle of the season, but some type of Kiffin rule, they'll try to. I don't know if they'll succeed, but they'll try to implement it in new coaches' contracts.
Yes, Todd.
Anything less than a championship with LSU, how does that affect the decision when we look back on him leaving Ole Miss? Does he have to win at least one title at LSU?
Even if he does, great. You got a lot of talent. You're going to have more talent year in and year out than you did at Ole Miss. He should win. I mean, 3 other coaches won national titles there. So you're going to be another coach who wins a national title there. Okay. But money wasn't the issue. And if it's talent, good. We wish you the best. But the way he left is the problem. It's the problem right now with him. It's a bigger problem with college football. What's the poll question, first hour, Dylan?
All right, we got a couple options, Dan. From Paulie, if you're the Ole Miss AD, would you have let Lane coach throughout the playoff, yes or no?
Okay. Yeah, Paul.
I'm going to say a hard no on that. Wouldn't even consider it. But when you brought up the idea of some type of contract where he couldn't take assistant coaches and couldn't take players, under that umbrella, I could consider it, but it would still be such a bad look. No, you can't do it. Can't do it.
Does anybody think that Lane Kiffin should have been able to coach Ole Miss in the playoffs? No? Yeah, Todd.
I agree that it's a very bad look, but I could also sell it by saying, we went this far. We're having this amazing season. We owe it to the players to see it through. I hate seeing that he's still in his Ole Miss gear and he's already agreed to coach somewhere else, a rival in the SEC. But, he's leaving. Why don't we get the most out of him? And, he's got this relationship with the players. Let's see how far we can go, and then good riddance after that.
But, and I said this on Wednesday, I don't want the College Football Playoff Committee to then punish these players and this team. And, hey, you don't have your head coach. We've seen this with quarterbacks who haven't been able to play, and then all of a sudden their team, is lowered as far as the rankings go, or they don't even make the playoffs. I get that. Lane Kiffin gives you a better chance. But I would rather go in with my now elevated defensive coordinator and our team, and we're playing, and it's the people who want to be here. I can't have this. Michigan basketball did this with Bill Frieder, Steve Fisher. Bo Schembechler famously said, I want a Michigan guy coaching Michigan. And you can take a hard stance on this. I mean, I try to be adaptable. I try to mature with all the things that are happening. And back in my day, it's easy to say that. But this was just unfortunate and sad how this played out. But it certainly sounded like Lane was wimpy on the tarmac and made it seem like he was a victim. And he's not.